Welcome to Gregorian.
Isn't that what we're recording?
Yeah.
We're recording live from Newman Hall Studios.
Which actually, we'll be moving soon, so this might be one of the last ones filmed in this building.
Crikey dick. I only just heard the news. Do you want to tell people the news?
Newman Hall is relocating.
I don't know. I mean, I know how I feel about that. I feel bad about that.
I've been in so many meetings that I don't care anymore. I'm like, just move. Just move. I don't care anymore.
I'm excited because we get a new dishwasher.
Oh yeah? What's her name? Her name is Molly Florence.
Hey! I'm excited because we have working PowerPoints and internet that doesn't cut out with the microwave.
And we don't get to fall off the balcony.
Yeah, there's not any life-threatening situations in the whole building.
Yeah.
I'm excited because it'll be probably 600 metres closer to my house,
Well, there you go.
which is still several kilometres away.
Well, there you go.
But there's always a positive side.
Yeah.
It's change. It's
Yeah.
change. There's a lot of history in this building.
Yes.
We should do a podcast about change.
We should.
Yes.
We should. Next podcast.
Yeah.
But we are actually talking about something this podcast. And it's going to be talking about the Met Gala.
Woohoo.
So I think what we'll call this is talking about the Met Gala.
Talking about the Met Gala. Speaking of the Met Gala,
Yeah. What about it?
that's just a title, a possible title.
All right. Okay.
You don't like that then, huh?
I only just found out what the Met Gala was last week when Don was like, we should do a podcast on the Met Gala.
And the only reason I found out was because Shannon was like, "Have you seen the Met Gala?"
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
how did you find out about it? That's terrible English. How did you find out
It's
about
right, man. I'm fob too, so I got that straight away.
Because you Dutch.
Because I follow the Met Gala. What did you say?
Because he's Dutch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
I just knew about the Met Gala, and then I remember reading about it, that it was going to be about Catholicism, and I completely forgot. And then I was just like, I don't know how it happened, but I was on the internet, maybe Facebook or something, and then I was like, what? Oh, no, I was looking at Solange's Instagram, because I follow her, she's my girl.
Solange.
Yep.
And then I was like, what is she wearing? And then I looked, and I was like, oh crap, it's a Met Gala. And then I told Dom,
Yeah, and then I told Dom.
Okay.
and now we're here.
So the theme was heavenly bodies and the Catholic imagination, is that right?
Fashion and the Catholic imagination.
Oh, that's right. So
Yeah.
heavenly bodies, colon, I'm not talking about bowels here.
Heavenly colon.
Heavenly bodies, colon, fashion and the Catholic imagination. And what is the history of the Met Gala? That's the question.
I don't know.
For those who don't know.
I thought you said you did research.
I did research into this Met Gala. I didn't.
I think it's just like, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just like a fashion thing. Every year they've got a theme,
You're
and then
wrong.
all these like famous people dress to the theme.
Well, it's the Metropolitan. What's the word?
Museum.
Museum.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do they give out awards? I'm not sure.
And they're just holding a gala where they get
What's a
famous
gala?
people to dress up. What isn't a
Like
gala?
selling cookies.
It's just like faffing around.
Interesting.
With food.
Interesting story. I tried typing hacker into my phone and it autocorrected to gala. Only found out 3 messages later. So the person I was talking to was thinking I'm talking about a gala and I'm talking about hacker.
No, they thought you were talking about the Met Hugger. And you're like, what is that?
Anyway.
That I would like to see. No, but it's for the Metropolitan Museum of Art or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be raising funds or
So here's the down low
art awareness.
on how this year happened.
Okay.
Apparently, the museum was like to the Vatican, "Hey, could we showcase a bunch of your stuff?"
Ah.
And they're like, "Sure, that's a great idea." So they gave them a bunch of the stuff.
The Vatican gave Met Gala a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
To showcase.
Okay.
Now,
So
it
that's-
sounds very kind of cheeky of the museum to do that. And I kind of don't wish. I hope that's not what happened. Now, so because lots of Catholics have been commenting on this recently, and it's all been, most of it's been like, that's sacrilege. And I think, in some cases, probably, but in other cases, I think we're being a bit too sensitive.
Okay.
Like, personally, anything Madonna does, probably sacrilege.
I mean, her very name.
Yes. She's dedicated her life to be
Controversially.
yeah, especially
vile.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess she was dressed kind of tastefully. I didn't really pay much attention to her.
What did she wear?
A black dress. I didn't look into it much.
Okay.
But
Why would you look into a woman's dress? Sorry.
well, if you've seen what Cara Delevingne was wearing, you couldn't do it.
You couldn't help but look into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, basically, lots of Catholics and nominal Catholics have been commenting on this. When I say nominal Catholics, I'm talking about Piers Morgan, who's he's Catholic with a just not Catholic, not even a little C. Eh?
K.
He's Catholic with a K. He's wrong.
Or just German. Catholic.
Anyway, and so he commented on it, and he was like, if this was, he's like, this is a, them taking the rip out of us, and we're just taking it. Whereas if this was Islam or Judaism, no, they wouldn't have taken it. However, I feel like there's a couple of things going on here.
Okay.
First off, we're actually being able to show off, because like something that's at the very fundamental part of Catholicism is beauty. And if you talk to Bishop Barron, which I don't do, but if you listen to Bishop, give me a call. Anyway, beauty is his thing. It's like that's how we get into
This is
the
transcendental.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's debatable, but yeah, it is.
What?
I don't get into it. I don't even know how to spell transcendental.
Okay.
So, but yeah, beauty is arguably transcendental, and it's a point of reference into getting into the real mystery of the faith, and and we as Catholics we have art everywhere. Like the Sistine Chapel, is just all art. You go into like all the old churches, it's all art. Anywhere in Europe, it's fantastic, and the cool thing is it's pointing out the beauty, and a lot of it is naked bodies. Because the physical form is a beautiful thing. And so, the artists are pointing at these things and showing them off. Now, so that's the first point. We're showing the Catholic beauty. And then we have the irony.
Okay.
Because we have this artwork, like, for example, like Ariana Grande, her dress was the Sistine Chapel printed on her dress. I thought it looked pretty cool.
Must have been a tiny dress.
She's
Ironically, it was a massive dress.
No, well, yeah. It covered her completely.
That's not hard. She's tiny.
Yeah, all except her shoulders. Anyway, and so it was quite tasteful. And it was beautiful art on a nice dress.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the irony is the people wearing it don't get it.
Right.
It's like here we are. It's like I don't want to say casting pearl in front among swine, but it's like. There's these people. I don't want to say that.
I don't want to say that you're a douchebag. But I just say that. I mean.
Hashtag no offense.
It's kind of playing dress up.
Yeah.
Right.
So you see little girls wearing fancy clothes and dressing up as princesses like they don't understand the full responsibility of those things, and they don't understand so. When you see someone wearing scantily clad, wearing something that represents beauty, it's an oxymoron, and I think it's quite funny in that sense. It's like you have Ariana Grande, who typically doesn't wear a lot of clothing, wearing a very nice dress, with art which is depicting the beauty of the physical form of the human body, and then. Her lifestyle is the opposite of that, but she's wearing it with pride and with like look at me kind of thing, which is how the art should be shown. And I think that's quite a funny point.
Is it a different? Does it become a different medium when it's on somebody, like a moving canvas? Because it's they're only there. The famous people are only there because they're famous, right? You couldn't just put a nobody in there, which begs the question: why are the famous people there?
They have money.
They have money. Or is it like people will look at what they're wearing based on who they are?
I think it was.
I went in there, other than the fact that I'm just.
I think it was like I think it had part to do with fame, and also, because it was big names like Versace and stuff like that, labels like that who made the.
Oh yeah, right. So it'd be like, who are you wearing? It'd be like Christopher Walken.
Well, and they only want they're not going to put nobody in. They're going to put somebody that's. If it wasn't someone famous, it would be a model.
Yeah, like who are you wearing? Well, Cotton On, Queen Street, Country Road.
Yeah, a bit pricey there, right?
Well, yeah, but
Anyway, so yeah, I think that's probably why and it is essentially the Met Gala is an opportunity for rich people to get famous people to meet up as a gala.
In which point I'm kind of like, well, why do we bother what they would wear? And normally we would not do this podcast, right? But only because of the fact that it's
Catholic.
The Catholic imagination. What I was really interested in was finding out, because you would have actually seen more of the dresses and stuff, a few of them. Do you feel like there was a lot of confusion around what Catholicism was from what they were wearing, or was it, was it really just cliche? Was there any actual insights that it gave into what Catholicism is?
Well, yeah, there was this one woman, don't know her name, but she wore like a rose dress with roses on it or something like that, and she said this is because there's a feast day coming up.
Oh, wow.
Gaudete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is to represent that, and it's like whoa, totally got it.
Yeah.
And then there was people like Zendaya, and she went dressed as like kind of like a fashionable contemporary Joan of Arc, and I'm like, that's good. And like the dress looked good.
It was super
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was cool. It looked, they had like chainmail.
Yeah,
and it was really cool. And I'm like, stuff like that's awesome because maybe with the rose dress you might just sort of say, oh, it's just the roses, but like, and also actually with all of them, but because there's a message behind it. And Zendaya's like, I'm going as Joan of Arc, who's a great figure for women, and Zendaya is a very popular at the moment. Lots of people follow. It's like, oh, who's Joan of Arc? They look into it, and it shows it. So I think there's always a window for opportunity.
Yeah.
And so there was some really tasteful, great portrayals of like, it's like if we did like an All Saints night and we said dress up as your favourite saint.
There's an idea.
Some really awesome like portrayals there, and someone dressed up as who's the guy that
like a head hanging off? Is it St. Catherine? I can't remember.
No, maybe. But anyway, who's the guy that was like John the Baptist, but for Henry VIII? Thomas
More.
Yeah, someone dressed up as Thomas More.
Was it the red dude?
No. It's a woman.
Oh, my bad.
But then there's
a woman dressed up as Thomas More.
Yeah. Well, actually, she dressed up as a famous painting of Thomas More.
Ah, well, that makes more sense.
Which is actually
about those people in heaven, like, when we meet them, what will it be like? Is like,
what would Joan of Arc?
Well, like even what's his name? Thomas the Doubter.
Yeah.
And we'll get to heaven and be like, oh, Thomas the Doubter, and he'd be like, excuse me.
What?
Like, what do you mean, Thomas the Doubter?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you were the one that doubted. He's like, no, I was the one that believed.
After, but
you doubted first. It's like, well, but Peter betrayed first. We don't call him Peter the Betrayer, do we?
Yeah, true.
Peter the Denier. Anyway, sorry, it's just a random channel.
That's another podcast.
That is another podcast.
But yeah,
people being represented, saints being represented.
Yeah, so there was some great representation, but then there was also, and this is where
there was also Rihanna.
There was also Rihanna and Jared Leto, and what they did is that so the Vatican loaned these pieces of like vestments and stuff like that. So Rihanna got a Pope's mitre.
Was it like a real Pope's mitre?
It was like a legit thing.
So was it not even like
designed? It was like from the Vatican Museum.
What the heck?
My
I didn't know that.
And she dressed up as a Popess, and I'm like,
oh,
sis. Crying out loud. Oh my lord. And then Jared Leto was wearing an actual stole from the museum, and it's like, okay, too far.
And you're like, Jeremy probably stole it.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Jared Leto.
I thought you said Jeremy stole.
No, Jared Leto wore a stole.
Man, I'm so deaf.
It's a teaching life.
It is teaching life.
Anyway,
how much time do we have left?
I don't know.
Okay, we've got about 6 minutes.
So for the next 6 minutes, so I think basically there are some things where, like, I was watching this one commentator on it, and he was talking about how these Vatican these things from the Vatican Museum were lent to this other museum, and then people wore them that were, and so like they wore vestments that were meant for priests and popes.
Right.
Now, the problem here isn't the fact that, well, I mean, it is that, like, people were wearing them not knowing what it was, and it just turned into a fashion thing. But isn't it also a problem that there's these things that were made to be worn on the altar that are now just kept in a glass casket?
Right.
And I think that is an issue.
Sacred things.
Yeah, because now we've got priests that are wearing like, polyester, crappy nylon things, and it's like, well, we've got all these other, we've got stuff. Why make new stuff?
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But I think, on the whole, the Met Gala it wasn't a terrible thing. I think it was, in a lot of instances, it was a portrayal of the beauty that the Catholic Church shows off, which tells us about God.
I think it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. And I think in some instances it was terrible, but I think
But it was never like someone dressed as a priest with a chain and a young boy. Like that was what you would expect, right?
Yeah, I think the closest was I don't know, the rainbow coloured
someone wore a rainbow coloured cape.
But I mean, I don't know. That's what Father Chris said, right? He was saying how it is showcasing beauty, but it's from people who don't actually understand, and so that's their portrayal, whereas you know what I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, so I think it was a good showing off of what Catholics have. It may be a bit of a mistake to let let people like Rihanna and Jared Leto wear these holy things, but I think we can be too critical of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker, was that her name?
Yeah.
She wore a nativity scene on her head. And people were like, "Oh, how dare she!" And I was like, "I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, that's not sacrilege."
She wore a nativity scene on her head.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty crafty, man.
Yeah, I mean,
crafty.
It was a nice. I mean, and let's celebrate the creativity, and also point out the stupidity.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But let's say the Sistine Chapel, that's ours, and go look at it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Joan of Arc, she's one of ours as well.
Yeah.
And Thomas More, he's one of ours. And these people dressed up as them, and they were represented in a way that wasn't meant to be kind of like sacrilegious or taking a rip. And I think there is a beauty of the Catholic Church, and we should, when it's there, when people are wearing it, like if I was wearing a t-shirt with an icon on. Actually, I saw a guy, he had a suit jacket with icons. I was like, I would totally get one of those.
It'd be pretty intense.
Yeah, but it's cool. And so it's like we should be portraying our faith like that.
Okay.
We should be wearing our faith as beautifully as it was shown.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know we have not.
Just about 2 minutes.
Go for it.
Okay, so what about for example, on Jersey Shore, right? Do you ever remember how they would wear rosary?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Insane?
Yeah.
And I just was watching a TV show, a Jersey Shore thing, and they're back. I don't even know why they're back. But they were like, oh, what are we going to wear to the clubs? Oh, probably wear Jesus to the clubs. And they had a gold Jesus chain.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you don't mean that?
Well, that's not Catholic beauty. That's someone putting a golden Jesus on a chain.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, where do you...
New Jersey. I mean, Jersey Shore is its own thing anyway.
Yeah.
But I've being in New Jersey, I went to this party, and I was just invited to a party. Didn't know it had a theme. Got there, everyone was wearing massive clocks, huge pants down to literally to their knees, saggy as, and I'm like, wow, New Jersey's as bad as it sounds. People with these disgusting moustaches, literally a big clock that big, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And then he goes, oh, you guys didn't dress up. And I was like, what? He goes, oh, it's a gangster theme party. And I was like, I just thought that this was New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I think that Jesus on the cross thing is very much probably there's a lot of Italians there.
Yeah,
probably a lot of Latino.
And I think we should take away from this. It's we have Catholic beauty, and we should be wearing it in our daily lives. We should be showing people the truth of it. And so then when it comes to a point where someone says, hey, can I use your Catholic stuff? It's like, no, I'm using it. It's been using this proper way. And I was like, oh, so it's not just dress up. It's like, no, there's a message behind it.
It's the way it is.
So I think the Met Gala is maybe a bit of a wake-up call, but it's also an opportunity for us to say, wow, our church is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's what I have to thought. That's my
good.
thoughts on all.
We can vent it. We can post it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. God bless. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you gotta do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.